Good morning, lovelies. So nice to see you all. And again, this is Coach Denise. And I just wanted to remind you that be your own true love. It really does start with you. It starts with you taking good care of yourself. It's all about you taking priority for yourself and just looking out for yourself, being your own true love. Nobody else can do that for you but you. So today we'll get into our talk, and today it's all about the top 5, the power of 5, the top 5 tips for you to survive holiday gatherings. And I counted out the days the other day, and there are now 41 days and a wake up until we're into the new year. And it's just really this time of year where there's like this romantic narrative to have the Norman Rockwell freedom from want, that iconic vision of Norman Rockwell, this amazing illustrator who drew these amazing, very loving, kind, romantic versions of the holidays. And, go look it up on Google. Norman Rockwell, freedom from want. There's like this iconic Thanksgiving picture where a guy's bringing out the turkey with his wife, and they have all the people around the table. And, the one person who does all of that stuff is us women. Us women, we do all of the planning. We do the meal prep. We coordinate the activity. We coordinate letting everybody know if somebody doesn't show up or part of the meal didn't show up. We take care of all of that. We set the dinner table. We just are orchestrating this meal tomorrow, Thanksgiving, and there's a lot that goes into it. And if we're not careful, we can fall into our codependency patterns where we're not a priority, that we just let everybody drive us and we're picking up all the pieces. And we just have to really make sure that in the next 42 days, 41 days and a wake up, that we really put the emphasis on us. Because again, as flight attendants, they say, when the oxygen mask comes down, you take care of you first. And once you take care of you, then you can help others. And that we really need that reminder to be able to get through this holiday season, to get through all of the expectations with the romantic narrative of fun and connection and love and tenderness through the holidays. And so I just wanted today to look at the top 5 tips that will help you stay in you and make you a priority this season, and especially tomorrow. So one of them is always when you're going to an event, if it's not at your home and you're going to an event, make sure that you drive yourself, that you and your family have your own car unit, that you're not driving with other family members, because if you end up reaching critical mass during any part of the Thanksgiving meal or day or whatever event you're planned, you have a getaway car. You have a car that you can leave if you want to. You can go say, hey, I need to go pick up some extra whipped cream, even if you don't need it, to go give that extra space to yourself. You have a vehicle. You have an asset. You have a resource that can just give you a little bit of breather. There may be a local park that you can go drive to just to get that time away so that you can recenter yourself and get back to the festivities. But having your own car to go to and from the event is really essential, because that way you're not tied to anybody else. Like if you go with somebody else or another family, you've got to wait on them. And sometimes those critical moments of just saying, I'm done. I've met my maximum critical mass this day and I'm not having any fun, so I'm going to go home. And that's perfectly okay. If you find yourself in that situation, having keys to your car will allow you to drive away in one piece. So that's the first tip, is drive yourself and be responsible for your own keys, your own family, your own unit. You can come and go as you please. The second one is it's okay to put a time limit. It's okay to put a time limit on these different events. And, a lot of times people are like, oh, we're going to get together at 1. We're going to have some appetizers and some drinks, the meal at 4 or 5 or whatever. And, then we'll have dessert. So it is okay for you to not get there right at 1 o'clock if that's what the designated. It's okay to not get there at 1 p.m. to make your own appointment for that day. So if you decide that 3 o'clock's fine, like I have enough gas in my tank to get through from the meal that's from 4 to 7. And, with dessert and festivities and everything else, it's okay to get there at 3 or 3:30. They're going to have other people there. There's going to be other festivities or whatever. You do not need to get there at 1 p.m. when your host is like, hey, show up at 1. If you do not have gas in your tank, it's okay to go later. And you just get there when you can, and you just let them know, hey, I'm going to be there a little after 3. So that has you getting there at 3:30. That's perfectly fine. And then you could bring all your wares and everything else, whatever you're planning on bringing, but don't bring the appetizer. So that's the other tip. Don't bring the appetizer if you want to go later. Bring the dessert. So that'll kind of get you off the hook, and understand time limits. Do you have 2 hours in your gas tank? Based on your work or whatever you're doing, you may not have like a full 4 hours in your gas tank. Maybe it is only 2 hours. And so just plan accordingly and go later. If you don't have the gas in your gas tank, then just go ahead for the amount of time that you have, and you go and enjoy yourself. And then once you're done, you leave. Don't feel guilty about leaving early. I mean, this is a day that kind of comes and goes, and I think that we have to be prepared to stay as long as we have gas in our tank and that we're having fun. So that's tip number 2, is making sure that you understand the level of gas in your tank and the limits that you have, and strictly stay to those. Because if you run out of gas, that just opens us up for disappointment, resentment, and other bad behavior that can come out on our own when we stay too long. And it's not, we just have to pay attention to the gas in our gas tank. Number 3 is all about your why. And I want each and every one of you today to really pay attention to your why. Why are you doing your Thanksgiving? And really spend some time today. Spend 5 minutes and write it down. And when we really take a look at our why, that really gets us engaged. Like, why are we going to Thanksgiving with our family? Like I'm going to Thanksgiving with my family because that's all about me. I want to spend time with my family. I want to have a nice meal. I want to have some conversation. I want to connect. And as a daughter, I want to put a check in the block. This is time to spend with family. My parents are getting older, and that's something that I can do for myself is spend time and go to Thanksgiving. And so if we go back to our why and we really ground into that, like we write it out today, we journal it out, like what is our why? And we read that before we go to the event, that really helps us to stay in us, like make the event about us and not about this, oh, I have to go. I have to go because my mother asked me. Well, always turn it back to your why. If you have a powerful why, you can get through anything, and remind yourself during the day when things are happening or not happening the way that you thought it would, then you can go back to your why. I'm doing this out of the love of my heart to go to this event and spend time with people, with my family. And just get really specific about your why. So that's number 3, is what is your why? Why are you doing whatever you're doing? That could be, okay, I've decided to cook the turkey, this year. And my why is I love cooking the turkey. That's my favorite part of the meal. And, grounding into that when you bring your turkey and when you're cooking it with all this love, just infuse the turkey with love. So go back to your why. That's item number 3, tip number 3 is write out your why today. Spend 5 minutes, write that out in a journal, and then tomorrow morning you read that first thing when you get up, and also before you go to the meal. And just remember your why, ladies. That is so important. That'll keep you in you and keep you present and grounded in your why for why you're doing the things that you're doing. Number 4 is journal. When you get back from an event, there's so much expectation around the holidays that everything's got to be Norman Rockwell perfect. That if there's anything that goes awry, or there was a dust up at the event, or the turkey got burned and everybody's all mad or whatever, or someone forgot something and now they're mad at themselves, and then the angry permeates to everybody else. Or if you're having a really great time, you can journal about that too. But when you get done with your event, when you come home, spend 5 or 10 minutes to really debrief that event. Like what is it that I'm angry about? What is it that I'm disappointed about? What is it that I'm sad about? What is it that I'm happy about? What am I overjoyed about? What am I feeling about abundance? Whatever that is, like spend that time. Just don't discount it. Like come in, after your Thanksgiving, you get back to your home, brew up a really beautiful cup of tea and just sit there with your journal and journal for 15 minutes about the event. And what that does is that helps you to release the event. It helps you to release all of that angst or goodness that happened at the event. It helps if it's angst and anger and frustration or whatever else with that event, it just wipes it off of you and you can just pour it into your page. And that journal is all about rewiring what's going on up here, your subconscious. You're talking to yourself, hey, this Thanksgiving, XYZ happened. And, I was a little bit frustrated or angry or sad or disappointed or whatever that is. And now I can let that go. So journal about it, feel it, let it all go. And if it was a really positive one, if you're out of your divorce and you're on your own for a little bit and you've had this like really amazing Thanksgiving too, then really journal about that too, to bring all of those feelings in, and it'll help rewire old, frustrating, sad, whatever Thanksgiving. So we really need to spend time. The 4th one is all about spending time to really feel our feels and either take on the good or let go of the not so good and release that from our event by journaling. Spend that 15 minutes with that cup of hot tea and just journal about whatever happened at that event and let it go. The more that we don't want, basically we need to feel our feels, and journaling will help us feel our feels. And we need to feel those feels, ladies. And if we can just do that, we need to sit in that, let all that come into our body. And sometimes there might be tears. Like just give yourself permission to cry those tears and let them be gone. And the more that we stay out of those feels, the more that it just like creates a mood. And then the mood can create into hours and then days of spinning in this negative event. So journaling and feeling your feels will help you let that all go. And if it's a positive event, it'll help fill you back up. So that's the tip number 4 is all about journaling and feel your feels. And number 5 is when you get back from an event, have something already that really fills you up, that really fills your bucket up. And, it might be a comedy. It might be, one of my things after Thanksgiving is I love to watch The Grinch. And for me, that's my holiday tradition for myself is watching The Grinch. And I turn off all the lights. I put on a couple of candles and I pop some popcorn and I have a drink. And I love watching The Grinch. I turn up the TV a little too loud and I know all the sayings and I know all the songs, but that's my thing. So whatever your thing is, if it's taking a bath, if it's, watching a favorite movie or whatever, have that already queued up so that you're giving yourself a treat, a self-care treat for when you get home, that's something you're looking forward to. It could be a movie, it could be going for a walk, it could be phoning a friend, it could be any of those things, but do that one thing to really ground into you, to say, hey, I made it through today and I'm going to be okay. And I'm all about being my own true love, that I love myself this much to give myself whatever treat that is, whether it's a movie or a bath or some quiet time, some time on the patio. Maybe if you have a fire pit, you can start your fire pit and go sit outside underneath the stars. Whatever that is, go do that self-care item for yourself. So ladies, that's the top 5 tips to get through a holiday gathering. And I'll still have these every single day. Tomorrow, I'm planning on doing just a little half-hour a breathing technique with you, walk through some other body modalities that you can do to ground yourself tomorrow. And I'll do that in the morning, so I'll drop that time in. But you know, it's all about you ladies and making sure that we stand aligned in our own power and not give anything away to others other than love and compassion and kindness. That we stay in us and we don't get agitated or frustrated or whatever, that we're driving our own bus, that we're being our own true love, and we're staying in all of our power and grounded in our body and our mind, body, and spirit. So again, you know, tomorrow can be a difficult day for a lot of people. It might be a really wonderful day for you. And whichever way that happens, it's one day. We just get back on the bus and we don't have to let that whole Thanksgiving experience roll into the next 40 some odd days. So I will continue on with these Power of 5 tips. I think that really helps us to stay grounded in us and making us a priority. And I did want to remind you that I do have a 30-day self-care challenge that's going to be coming up starting on December 3rd. And that's a great way to make you a priority. So if that's something you're interested, go ahead and drop I'm all in. And I just think that it's an important time that we lose track of staying aligned with us and standing in our power. It can be a time when we run our battery down, and that's something I want to keep you charged up. That's my mission, is to keep you charged up, keep you aligned with you, and help you stand in all of your power. So I hope you ladies have a really great day. We'll continue the conversation, and I look forward to sharing more Power of 5 tomorrow, and also having a little 15, 20 minute, 30 minute kind of a nice Thanksgiving check-in with you and help you stay grounded and present. So stay tuned for a time on that. I'll put that in, and I hope you have a great day. Take care, ladies. Bye-bye.